I'm on my driving way. It's hard to regulate the heat, you know. It's cold outside, then it gets too hot in here. All right, the roads still have not cleared up, but I'm driving only 45 because I'm not risking it. But I saw the snowplow go by and they're sanding the road. Does that help? I hope. I haven't slid or had any close calls or anything. So I'm not too scared if I go this speed. And there's no traffic out. A truck just went that way, but I haven't seen much traffic out. All right. Since it's Christmas season, for my talk shows, I think I should tell some Christmas memories or Christmas stories every now and then. So I was thinking of some of my past Christmases. Now, you have to understand, as a child, we had very slim Christmases. It was old-fashioned. And, like, our mother made a lot of our Christmas presents. We would get a Christmas dress, a birthday dress. Because remember, Carolyn and I have the same birthday on the 21st of December. So usually I would get a Christmas dress on that day. And my mother made it. And they were beautiful. And then she would make us pajamas, doll clothes for our new Christmas doll. Santa usually gave us a doll, whether it be a baby doll, and after we got older, it was a Barbie, some kind of Barbie Ken Skipper doll. And so she would make a whole lot of clothes. Okay, and I still have them. And one time when she came to visit, she goes, "Can I see those clothes again? Because, you know, I think I'm the only one that still has my doll clothes. My sisters don't." But anyway, I let her see them. And, you know, like she made a whole black suit for Ken and everything. All right, so anyway, the one thing I remember is when I was married to my first husband and Chad was a baby. And so, you know, he was born in May, so how old would he be by December? Not too old. He's not going to remember anything. But we were poor in the military. We didn't have a lot of money. We probably had a car payment, but, you know, you get your free house, but they take the money out. If you have to pay rent and you don't live on base, they give you a house allowance. I don't remember what it's called. I know I'm crooked, but I can't do much about it. My focus is the road, not the camera, if any of you are wondering. I have peripheral vision, and when they checked me at the eye doctor and that thing goes around, I passed. Look at how fat my chin is, because I'm fat right now. There, I'll hide it. I don't want to get makeup on this, though. I took a tissue and took all the makeup off so I wouldn't get makeup on like I always do. Do you guys? I know you guys probably have that problem, too. Anyway, I'm not alone, but I don't want to get makeup on it. All right, so back to my story. I'm not going to forget it and have to rewind it because I can't do that while I'm driving. So it was, what year would it have been? I could figure it out because Chad was born in 74. So it was 1974 and soon to be 75 after Christmas. Okay, so I was probably 20 or 21, 20, probably 20 on my birthday. So I remember this Christmas, you know, my mother sent a little gift and Jeff's mother sent a little gift. So we had those gifts under the tree. And I think we bought a gift for each other and a few for Chad, you know. But it was pretty slim and nothing expensive, you know. So it was like Christmas Eve or the day before. And I remember sitting there thinking about at home. And at home, all of our neighbors, not our neighbors, but our church members, would bring treats over and give us, you know, like one lady always brought a box of oranges, and the ladies would bring homemade candy and everything, you know, to the house. So, like at everybody's house at Christmas time, you have an abundance of treats to eat. Well, being it was my first Christmas away from home, no, it would have been my second, because the first Christmas I remember I was pregnant with Chad, and I had morning sickness very, very bad. And so it wasn't a very fun Christmas either. So this was the second Christmas away from home. And I wanted some treats. Some of those Christmas treats I wanted so bad. So I remember taking all the packages thinking maybe somebody gave us a box of candy for Christmas. So anything that could possibly have been a box of candy, I am smelling it and shaking it. And of course, none of them smelled like chocolate or were chocolate. But it left an impression on my mind about people who were like me back then. And how, desperate I was. And so, like for these new people that just get married, of course, nowadays things are different. It seems like there's nobody poor anymore in my world. And it was so cute when I was talking to Credence. When he was with me yesterday, we were driving around, and he goes, "Now, is Christmas Jesus' birthday?" And I said, "Yes, it is." And so then, of course, being the grandmother that I am, I went into great detail and told him, the scripture, and I don't know where it is. I could look it up. "If ye do it unto one of the least of me, my brethren, ye do it unto me." I hope that's right. So I told him that scripture. I said, "You know what that means?" He goes, "No." And I said, "Well, if you think about the people that are the least of me, that means people who are down and out and don't have much. But if you give to them, it's like giving to Jesus, because he's not here for us to give to him. He doesn't need anything." So anyway, then Credence goes, "Oh," he goes, "but I don't know anybody that doesn't have anything and homeless." I said, "I know, we are very lucky, aren't we?" But anyway, it was cute that he was thinking about who he could give this, the least of thee. So anyway, that's the thing in Afton. I mean, there's people who don't have as much money as others. Maybe a injured person, sick person. But it's hard to find a person who, really needs help in our little part of the world. We don't have homeless because they'd freeze to death and be dead. Now, Chad, I know, my oldest son, he was a single dad. So he was always on the angel tree, his kids. And there's people like that you can help. And usually the bishops of the church know of people in need, out of work and everything, single moms or whatever. So, and the food bank gives turkeys and gives the food baskets away to the needy that go there. And the bank has a wonderful angel tree. And if you don't have to prove you're poor, you just put your kid's name in there and they'll fill out the paper. And so Chad's kids have always gotten a very good thing. So then I've always, at Christmas time, you want to help the needy. Well, instead of picking strangers, here I have this bead that's showing every now and then. I always just picked Chad's family to be my angel family. They knew it was me, but I always gave more to them than like Trevor or the other kids, because Chad was a single dad, and so I looked out for those kids, and half the time they lived with us on and off, so I knew what they needed, and I would always buy them a little extra because Chad couldn't do it, or didn't do it. And if you know alcoholics, on holidays is their time to celebrate, so they drink more. Every Christmas, it seemed like they were at our house, and I was the one filling the stockings because there was no one else to do it, and I didn't want the children to be left out. I don't know if in their memories they realize all the things that Trevor and I did. Trevor would talk to the church and get things, school clothes for them, and get things for them that they weren't going to get unless, we spoke up. So the church would give them money for their school. We could take them shopping and get them school clothes because they needed it, and Chad didn't have extra. But he was always on disability because he fell, remember, and broke his back and everything. Anyway, so at Christmas time, I always helped Chad's kids more. And I hope the other grandkids realize that. I've never given much to Tyson's kids and Cameron's kids because they live so far away. So I've always just mailed money to the parents and tell them to, either have a pizza night, a movie night, or something with the money. Or here's your Christmas dinner money, or, give something, or give to each kid. And I know Jeff, the grandkid's dad, all my boys, we have the same grandkids. He gives $10 to each grandkid. There's 35 of them. I think he has the same many as I do because his wife has 2 kids and they have children. So I think, and see, Emily and Hillary are not his grandkids. I think we have about the same amount of grandkids. So $10 times how many grandkids we have, it adds up. But I add up, like at birthday times, I add his $10, I give him $20. And so they're getting good for their birthday. If we were still married, they'd probably only get 20 and not the extra 10. But Jeff has a philosophy. He doesn't give his boys birthday money anymore because they're old enough. But I would rather give my sons, my daughters, the birthday present because to me it is the child and my day, because the day they were born was very important to me. Never forget it. And the child is their day. And so I want to celebrate it with them. So I will never stop giving them a present, even if it's just $10. I still am going to give them a card and a present. But he gives the grandkids still. But to me, the grandkids, they have their own parents that can give to them if you are so poor that you can't. But that's just how we think. Now, I know my one sister, she said she doesn't give to her kids for Christmas because they have more money than she does, so she just gives to the grandkids. So I know everybody's different and they do different things. But I always try to give a family gift. Like for Trevor's family, one of the gifts I got was a big long griddle that you put on the stove, 2 burners. And I asked Trevor, he has an electric one, but he doesn't have one to put on the stove, and I love mine. So I got him one of those. And I gave everybody a chopper thing. But next week I'll send the money. I'll probably Venmo the money to Cameron and Tyson's families. And since I have my YouTube channel, I'm able to give a little more this year, which makes me so happy because this next YouTube check, I will get to pay off my teeth. They're paid for now. And then the rest will go for Christmas. So I'm so happy. I've told you before, Jamie does not give me any extra money or anything and say, this is Christmas money. No, I have to budget myself for my kids. But I made him give his kids. You give to your kids and I'll give to mine then. Because he was getting off scot-free with his budget for Christmas. And I didn't think that was fair. So he gets to spend his money on his kids. And he only has 3 left because the one girl died. But I have 6. And mine are all married. He only has 1 son married. And mine are all married, except for Chad. And so I have spent a lot more on my kids than he does on his kids. But I've talked about that before. Now this is where I make a turn off. I hope I don't mess up. Kemmerer. I have to go to Kemmerer. Stupid is the name in the world. Kemermer. Kemmerer. And it is the first town that J.C. Penney opened up a store. And it's still there. It's nothing to be seen, though. Nowhere I would go shopping. It's Kemmerer. Kemmerer. Stupid. Why do they have the two ERs on the end? Okay, I'm still clearing my throat and having postnasal drip. I got a card from a lady, which I will shout them out when I get home. I got several cards. This is another thing I never did say. I guess I should finish my other story about the candy. And it was just that from then on I learned that if you know somebody poor and isn't getting much Christmas treats or something, neighbor maybe, a single man or something, go take them a plate of Christmas treats, because, you know, they want some too. They don't cook, they don't bake, so I always try to do that. We used to have a neighbor man who was single, and I always took him a plate of the Christmas treat, baking. Oh, the snow is lessening. The road is getting better. The speed limit's 70. I'm not going to go that fast yet because there's still a little bit of snow. Oh, I'm just talking and talking. You know why? I'll show you why. It does it to me every time. I'm going to show you why. Maybe. Yep, I can show you why. When I drive, I have a tendency as a child and still, as soon as the car starts moving, especially if the sun is shining in, I just fall asleep. I always drink one of these, and it makes me talk more. And when my grandkids come with me, they go, "Grandma, shut up, you're talking too much." They probably don't say shut up to me. They probably just say, "Stop talking, Grandma." But it makes for good conversation on the video. So, Christmas season, it makes me sad that everybody gives at Christmas and thinks of others more. Why don't we do that all year round? It's like Valentine's Day. Oh, it's the love day, and you do everything. Because the world told you Valentine's Day means you got to give a treat, give flowers, it's a love day. Well, I never did that, because to me, Valentine's, your lover, your mate, you should treat them good all year round. You don't have to have a Valentine's Day to give them a card or a present. I'd rather you do it on your own than the world telling you to do it. And how many holidays are because somebody wants to make money, so they push it? I heard back east that the Christmas stuff's getting all sold out at some of these places, and so now they are putting up the Valentine's Day stuff. I'm not ready for although Valentine's Day candy's my favorite. The Red Hots and all of the red candy's my favorite. But anyway, I'm not eating candy, right? I'm going to be going on my diet. I'm going to start my keto diet. It doesn't work for me, but it makes me not be hungry all the time, and it makes me feel better. Oh, there was something on the road. If anybody knows me like Chad, I tend to stop on the road when I see something. I've got some good things pulling over. I found a car top carrier that it fell off somebody's road, off on the highway, going to Idaho Falls, so I stopped and picked it up, and then I ordered the key to open it. It was locked. And I fixed it, and I sold it for $100. I didn't need it. And one time Chad was with me, and we were driving somewhere in Oregon. And it looked like somebody's suitcase opened up and all over the road. So we stopped to pick the stuff up, and we got a good towel, and here was some lingerie. And it was, they were too small for me, but I think Chad gave them to his girlfriend. It was quite funny. We washed everything, but it was like brand new stuff. It was funny, though. We laughed so hard. It was probably from a murder, and they dumped it all out on the road. And then one time we found a backpack, and the grandkids were with me, and Jamie, and I made him pull over and stop. Oh, good, the roads are completely clear. And so I made him pull over, and we picked it up, and you could tell it was a school kid, and they were probably on a bus, and everybody wrote all over the backpack, and somebody threw it out the window. Nothing was in it. And then another time, a baby blanket. I saw a baby blanket and I pulled over because you've heard of those stories. There's a baby in it or something. I wanted to check that out, but it's not against the law because it is called waste. Oh, there's somebody checking their oil. Maybe I should check my oil. The engine's hot now. You're supposed to check it when it's cold. I always worry then. I was going to check it before I left. Oh well. Jamie went hunting this morning, but he said it was so bad, snowing, he couldn't see anything and up on the ranch, so he just came home. But I was going to go fill the tank up with gas. But Jamie was nice enough. He took the car into town, which is 10 miles, and went and filled the gas tank up for me and got the mail. And I did get 4 Christmas cards. Here's something else I wanted to say. When I first got married, back in 1973 and 74, is what I remember most. Well, and from then on. My mother always, when she got Christmas cards back then, they hung them up. She hung them up, taped them on the back of the front door. And her door would be just full of them. So I wanted to be like that, like my mother. And so I just treasured getting a Christmas card. And then and back then we mailed them more, if you guys remember, because, you didn't have the internet and stuff. And phone calling you had to pay, so you used letters more. So I tried to get my door as full as possible of Christmas cards, even if it came from a company, like where you bought your tires or something and they sent you a card. Well, through the years I've always done that, but now I don't do it anymore because you don't get as many. And like from my nieces, I get cards, but they're pictures of their family. And so I want to, I don't want to put tape on them. Seems like my camera's fogging up. Just a minute. Maybe my eyes are fogging. It seems cloudy. All right, so anyway, I've never gotten very many Christmas cards lately. And now, in Brookings, when I lived there, they had this alphabetized box that had the slots for the alphabet, and they would fit a card. And so everybody could take their cards at Christmas time and put them in the box for the ward members. And then every Sunday you would go and look through the A's or the B's and get your cards out. Wasn't that a wonderful idea? You didn't have to pay postage. So then I would get a lot of cards to put on the back of my door. But when I moved, married to Jamie, I get family cards maybe, but then I don't get them now, the internet. They just always say Merry Christmas on the internet. So I have never gotten very many cards for my door until this year. Now last year I was new on YouTube, so I didn't get any cards last year from anybody. Although I did have 1,000 viewers, I remember, because I got monetized last November. So this year I am getting so many cards and it makes me so happy. And they're all so beautiful and they write things in them so nice. I'm saving them all forever, I swear, in my scrapbook. I'm going to have to get a bigger scrapbook. Maybe just a Christmas scrapbook and put in all the Christmas cards. Maybe I'll make a Christmas card book all by itself. Couldn't you put all the cards together and then get the O-rings and punch holes and then just have Christmas cards? I'm going to do that. And so it makes me so happy. The problem is I can't, because of my big family, I'm going to say it's that way, I cannot spend the money mailing, all the card back to people because there's 70, how much is an envelope to mail nowadays? 75 cents or something. And, that's all like $1 each. I don't know. I'm already mailing out the tissue box covers, and they're $6.50 unless it's international. So I'm spending that much already. And I spend a lot of my profit on the Temu crap that I have to order to make a video. Now they say, keep your receipts, it's deductible. But if I order clothes for myself, I don't know if that's deductible, because they say anything that you had to buy to make your channel is deductible. Well, if I'm buying a gift for somebody or for clothes for myself, I don't know if that's a have to make my channel, because I can cook. So I don't know. I really don't know. But I wish my teeth were deductible, because that's what I've spent most of my money on, are my teeth. $7,000 on my teeth. So, but I wouldn't have been able to do my teeth if I didn't have this YouTube channel. I would have had to live with my little ground off short teeth that were horrible. And I noticed my old videos. You could tell my old video from my new one by just my teeth. Oh, the roads are clear now. I need to call Jamie and say, you don't have to worry. The roads are clear. And it's not supposed to snow anymore, so on my way home, I could come back tonight, but I don't want to because it'll be dark. And the deer come out at night, and the roads, if there's any wetness, it'll freeze. So I'd rather wait till morning and drive, which means I'm going to miss church, and Jamie might miss church. He has the red car, but I don't know if I told you, it has power steering leakage. So he has to put new power steering fluid in it. It has insurance still, but I don't know if he bought the sticker to register it, because he said, I can't drive it, it's not registered. So he might miss church tomorrow. Although, like I've told you before, how smart he is with the scriptures and with the religion. He's taught the adult class. He can quote chapters of the scriptures, and he knows every answer to every question they ask, raising his hand, remembers everything. But we do go to church to partake of the sacrament to renew your covenants. That's why we go to church. So if he doesn't go, he won't get to do that. Plus, he loves talking to all the people, his friends. So he does miss it if he doesn't go to church. I don't know if he learns any new thing when he goes to church. We should go to fill the Spirit and to renew our endeavors to be good, or to serve others, and to not be a deadbeat in the world, but try to enhance the world with Christ's light and shine. Oh, there's a car behind me the first time. I'm going to let him pass me. I tend to like to let him pass me, because then if there's a deer or a slick place, then they will get it, or a cop, then they get it before me. Isn't there a scripture about he shall be first? No, he that is last shall be first. Something like that. My husband Foster always loved that scripture, but I don't know where. I'd have to look it up. But Jamie and my dad, they know where it is. They always know everything. That sounds like Paul wrote it. Peter, Abraham, they know all the things. I don't remember it. I read it. I had the lesson. I don't remember. I think as a mother, my focus was always on my kids. What's for dinner? What am I going to give them? What do they need? And so I hear the lesson, but it doesn't always. It's like when I watch a football game. I'm watching the whole thing, but it's not registering what's happening, because I don't really care. I know the rules, but I don't really care. So if I paid attention, if I care about something, then I can remember it a little. But God didn't make me with a photographic memory. I know that. And I am not an audio learner. I'm a visual learner. I got to see it written down, and I got to study it like that and write it down 100 times before One time in high school, I was going to see if I could get an A on a test. And so I studied for the test. It was an econ. So I studied for the test, and I did. I got an A. I'm like, oh, studying does work. But then I never studied again. I just listened and could get a C. But I didn't really care about school, so unless it was home ec. If it was home ec, sewing, cooking, I paid attention, and I got A's in those classes, and art, because that's what I liked. But I didn't have a burning desire for a career that I was going to try to excel for, because I want to go to college and be a da-da-da-da-da. I never had that. My greatest desire was to be a mother. I succeeded. Although, if I had my life to do over again, which I don't, it's probably good, I would have had more children if I could have. I don't think I could have, because I had them at every opportunity. But being in my old age and knowing what I know now, I would have had more children, because when you're 60s, 50, 60, 70, your children bring you your greatest joy, your posterity. Now, I had one child that I wish had a better life, but my other 5 make me really proud and bragging about them. It's just the one that has a illness. I love him the same as my other ones. You know, you love your wayward children, or your, alcoholic children. You love them so much, and you just are so sad, because you know what they're missing in life and the potential they could reach if they didn't have that problem. But one lady taught me, because I was feeling guilty. Did you teach him to do that? Were you that kind of example to them, that they became that and all that stuff? No. I tried to teach him good, and I always tried to be a good example, and I took him to church and everything. She goes, then you have nothing to feel guilty about, because our children reach a certain age and they have their agency to choose to do whatever they want. And so he's choosing, although the illness is so addictive and so overwhelming. How much can he even choose? I don't know. That's what's the sad part about it. I tell his children he would love to not be the way he is, but he cannot stop. He cannot help himself. And I don't know what it will take for him to, wake up and not want to be like that. He's had health scares. He's had police scares. We have a guy in our town that is a lawyer, and it's Carmen's friend, and he's in jail right now for DUI. And his grandpa, the lawyer, he can't do anything about it to get him out. You got to suffer your consequences if you disobey. Now we're going through Cokeville, which is the town that had the bombing of the school years ago. I didn't live here then. But a guy that had been in the sheriff, but he was wacko in the mind, and he held the whole school hostage with the bomb, the Cokeville bombing. There's been movies about it and books and stuff, so you can read it if you're interested. Look it up. I did a video and went around the school and showed it and everything for your entertainment. But I'm not doing that today, because I got to at 3 o'clock, they're going to the high school for the performance. And they're going to save me a seat, but I want to get there to go with them. Because, they're building something new here in Cokeville. Looks like a liquor store. But it's a very small town, so I don't have high hopes for anything great here. I wouldn't want to live here. I think it's the county seat. No, Kemmerer is. But we had to come to Cokeville one time for a meeting that Jamie, when he was doing the trout ranch, he had a trout ranch, you know, catch out ponds, and he had trout, and we had a campground and everything that I ran and everything. Anyway, we had to come here to get the water approval and all that stuff. I remember. And they loved Jamie's idea. All those men, oh, and they can't, oh, and they loved the idea. Whereas another guy was there to build storage buildings or something, and they weren't going for his idea. He didn't give enough information. But Jamie prepared very well with visual aids and everything, and he got everything approved. He is very smart that way, and he could be an attorney, because he reads all that, how, you know, attorneys talk and write up the papers. He does it. He reads it. Although he missed the one papers, my brother caught it, because the guy put, just a minute, I gotta blow my nose. We use napkins. They're more absorbent than tissues. So Jamie puts napkins everywhere. All right. So our first trust, well, it was like our second trust that Jamie made. And had the attorney, I didn't catch it either, but the attorney put for our trustees, we wanted 4 trustees, for 2 of his kids and 2 of my kids. And at the time, the attorney said, well, that's going to be a big problem because they'll be fighting. Well, my 2 kids aren't going to fight, and his 2 kids probably wouldn't fight, but together they would probably fight over things. So the attorney on his own wrote in this order, and he put Jamie's 2 kids first. I'm not supposed to say their names, or I will get docked. They have an alert on me, and if I say their names, then the alert will show up. I don't know how it works, but I Googled it, and it is true. You can put an alert on your name. So I won't say their names, but he put it that they would be in this order. So like if the first one died, then the second one. And if the second one died, then comes Trevor. Well, that isn't fair. We don't want just one child on one side as the trustee, because, you know, they're going to be all out for themselves. Well, they may say, you can have all of the couches and the beds and the clothes, and we will take the land and the money. And so then they say, all that furniture and clothes is worth, she spent a lot on those clothes, so that's worth like, you know, $5,000. It wasn't. You can't, how much can you get a couch at a yard sale? A used couch, for that matter. So that is not fair. You got to have appraisals and all that stuff. We don't want that money wasted like that. But anyway, we fixed it. So now it's not like that. We have 2. Trevor is on my side. I can't say who's on Jamie's side, or I will get docked and sued. So I'm not saying it. You could use your mind to think who it is. So, but don't you think if somebody sues the wife, they're suing the father too? I mean, the husband? Because we're married and everything's together. So if they sue me, it's like they're suing the husband. I don't know. To me, that's it. The sun's trying to shine. That makes me happy. Why does the sun make us happy? The light makes us happy. The light of Christ makes us happy. All right. Am I done talking? Are you done listening? Because this is like a pretty long video. 40 minutes. Some people say they like longer. I'll just keep talking because they say they like longer videos. So this morning talk show will be for the people who are dit-dotting. That's what I call diamond art. Or crocheting, or drinking their coffee and they don't want to get up and change the channel. Now, you don't change the channel, you push the channel. Remember, we say change the channel because we used to come and change the channel to 3, 5. Roll the window down because you really did roll the window down. Now it's push the window down. Push the channel. And everybody has a remote. When you don't have a remote, you think you're dying. Where's the remote? Where's the remote? I have 5 remotes in my bedroom. The grandkids go, why do you have so many remotes? Well, it happened because in the family room over there, kids would come and they would lose the remote. We couldn't find it anywhere, and I'd have to order another one. And then they'd lose that one. I swear they were taking them home in their pockets. We couldn't find them anywhere. And then it was like 5. One time I ordered 2 then to have on hand. I even tried to put a tape of flour to it or a wire, big thing, so they wouldn't lose it. But they always take it off then. Finally, Jamie went over there and he tipped the couch over and he found 5 remotes inside the couch. So anyway, thank you, Jamie, for finding them. So then, now I leave one in there, but they're all in my bedroom, but they work on that TV too because it's Roku TV. But now I found the perfect way. If you lose a remote or a phone charger, you offer a reward to the grandkids. If anybody finds the remote, I'll give you money. I don't tell them how much. It depends. If it takes them, like 10 minutes to find it, you're only getting $1. But if it took you 3 hours, you get 5. Because I'm not going to have you just be hiding it for me to say that for you to get $5. No, you only get a little bit. And it depends on how old you are. If your Credence's age, you might get 50 cents. But if you're, 25, then you get $5. Money doesn't go as far as it used to. I used to give $10 and think that was a lot, but now I'm giving 20 and I'm thinking that's not very much. But it all adds up. And it makes me so sad. But I think about our younger days when our 20s, if you're old like me, and you think life was simpler, but I don't think it was. I think it was just as hard then to pay $350 rent as I remember renting a house and it was $350, and that was a lot. Because your wages were so little. So anyway, like I bought protein shakes, and I'm looking at the cost, dividing by how many for how much to see how much they are each. And it's a lot still. And then I'm thinking, how much do I spend on groceries a week? Well, this is only going to be my breakfast. On my birthday, I start my new diet. Why am I waiting till my birthday? Because I have a deadline, and my birthday is the start of the deadline that I have. So this week, I'm getting rid of all the goodies in the house that I like, all of the things that I don't want around. So I've been preparing. So I told everybody for my birthday, do not send me any candy, buy me any candy. Do not bring me a birthday cake. Don't bake me a birthday cake. Don't take me out to dinner. Nothing. So I think I'll celebrate my birthday the day before. And then I'll have a piece of birthday cake then. Because that's going to be the last of sugar. No more sugar. Until I'm 71. No, I don't know. Okay, so anyway, most of the time I'm just speaking crap. You don't know what you're talking about. That's what Jamie always tells me. Half the time, you don't know what you're talking about. That's very true. Although, I'm going to tell you this. When I was married to my second husband, who was an alcoholic, so on and off during the marriage, he was drunk, or then he would go on the wagon and be sober. Well, the children didn't really respect him because they didn't know what he was. But I would get so mad because I didn't allow alcohol in my home. I considered it my home because we had HUD housing because of the children. So if I wasn't married, it would be my house with HUD housing because of the children. So to me, that man was living there. I was married to him, but he benefited because of the kids. And if he didn't have me, he would be on his own. So I wasn't going to leave. I put my children first. And if you are not going to be right, then leave. Because it's my children's in my home, not yours. You hurt my children, you're out. My children come first, which eventually happened. I got rid of him because of my kids, the way he treated them. Anyway, I would not allow him to bring alcohol into my home. That's why he was out till 2 in the morning or something, because that's when the bars close. So anyway, one time he did bring some beer and put it in my fridge, and I took the whole 6-pack and opened the front door and threw it out the door. And then he said, well, why did you do that? Or something. Anyway, it didn't break though. They didn't pop open. So I had to go pick it up and throw it again because I wanted them to all explode, which they did then. But I said, I'm not having that around my children. I do not want beer in my refrigerator because I was a biatch. And then he tried to smoke marijuana in my garage once with a friend. And I went right out there. And this was in the 80s. I went right out there and I said, I'm calling the police right now. I do not want that around my children. And so he got on his motorcycle, him and his friend, and they just left right then. So he knew where I stood from the beginning. He knew my standards. You marry a religious woman, you're going to have to live it too, because I wouldn't allow it. So anyway, I wasn't risking my children getting taken from me because of some idiot man, because of the way he does things. And that's what more women out there need to do. Now I put Jamie first over my children or his children because the children are raised, they can take care of themselves. And now it's a partnership between me and Jamie to live our companionship, our marriage until we die. And so I'm not going to have that interrupted because a child wants all of our land or a child wants all of my jewelry. They don't want any of it. Anyway, so Jamie and I, we want to be on the same team, the same goals, and heading towards the same thing, and not let our children come between us. So that's how it is now. So if a child comes and says, you better choose me, it's not going to happen because we choose each other now. Okay, enough of that. And you can believe the way you want to and have your standards of living, and I'm sure your man wants beer in his fridge, so you let him, or you want it, and your husband, or you smoke, or he smokes, and you let him. That's fine, you can do whatever you want, but this is just what I did. And Foster did smoke in the house when I first met him, and then he quit smoking because I was getting pregnant and we didn't want secondhand smoke. And I know my children smelled like cigarettes for a couple of years, and I hated that. So then I put my foot, he didn't, in fact, he himself, when he started smoking again, he didn't smoke in the house because we didn't want secondhand smoke for children. It's damaging, because I told you this before. The baby that died, they looked at my placenta and the cord, and the midwife said that the placenta looked like I had been a 2-pack a day cigarette smoker. I never smoked a day in my life, but because I was breathing secondhand smoke, which they say is worse, look what it did to the placenta, which they say it didn't have anything to do with him dying because he didn't have there was a hole in the diaphragm. But who knows? So anyway, do not let little children smell marijuana smoke, vape, I think vape's bad, and I think cigarette smoke's bad. Because their bodies are forming, their minds are forming, their brains. Think about somebody other than yourself when it comes to those things, if you have that problem. Put the children first, always. Breaks my heart when you hear things about little children. Ugh. Put them first. The weather's good, the road's perfect and normal. I'm not to the freeway yet. Pretty soon I'll get up here and it will be a 4-lane, 3-lane, I don't know how many lane freeway. So then, but you can still go 70 on this road. But I'm not stopping. I usually stop in Cokeville. I didn't stop because I'm packing. And I didn't drink much this morning, so I can keep going. And Cameron might stop there to go to the bathroom. I'd rather stop there than pull off the freeway. This is just a 2-lane highway. I think that's what it is. Is this 89 maybe? Highway 89? I think it is. But I may not be because I don't know what I'm talking about half the time. One time, I was soon after I married Jamie, and my mom and dad were in Salt Lake. So I took the kids, we drove to Salt Lake, and it was to do school shopping and to also visit them. They followed me home, supposedly, and then we're going to spend time in Afton. Well, the problem was, I didn't know the way, and Tyson was over here with the map. He was in high school. So he was dividing the map, but because the map was Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, and you had to keep turning the page. So then we just got lost. We didn't know where we were going, and he kept saying, turn here. So then I turned wrong and went clear into Bear Lake and stuff. I'm going, this doesn't look right. Well, my mom and dad were behind us somewhere. Well, it ended up, they got to Afton before I did. I should have followed my dad instead of my dad following me, because we lost each other when I made a wrong turn. And I would find a phone and call Jamie, which way do I go? And he'd go, you're going the wrong way. Turn around and go that way. And then I would get mixed up again and have to call him again. Jamie, I'm in Grace, Idaho. No, go the other way. Anyway, I don't know where I was going. And Tyson wasn't a very good map director. We didn't have MapQuest back then. We didn't have anything. You just had your map and the signs, and I didn't know, are we supposed to go through Kemmer or are we supposed to go through Cokeville? I didn't know. Now I hope I know better. Alright, so now we're getting there. Now right up here a ways is where Clint, Jamie's son, got in a wreck coming from National Guard, head on with the coal truck. Could have died, but he didn't. And it was a miracle. But every time we go by there, it was slick and snow, and he slid, I think, into the truck lane. And then Brianna got in a wreck on the freeway. She was, I don't know what she was doing, a new driver, but she ran into the back. She was passing a truck, I think, and she probably looked at her phone and then crashed into the back of the side of a truck when she was passing, totaled her car, and so she was in the hospital. Luckily, I wasn't the parent. Luckily, Chad wasn't drinking at that time, so he could be a dad and go get her and stuff. But we have to pay attention and pray before you leave. I prayed before I left that you'll be safe. I hope that works. Be smart. Be yourself. Oh wait, I know I drink that energy drink, but it makes me awake. I guarantee you, I would have to pull over and sleep. Our church was getting added on to in Brookings. So I'd taken my boy, we always went to church, and so we had to go down to Crescent City, California, to the church down there every Sunday. It was like 28 miles. It wasn't very far, but it was. So anyway, I'm driving my kids down there to go to church, and it wasn't so bad there, but on the way back, I would get so tired, and Chad wasn't old enough to drive yet, and so I would tell him, and the sun's shining, and I'm falling asleep, and I would not, I don't mess with that. So I would have to pull over on the 28-mile trip home to take a little nap and rest my eyes. And my boys would get so mad. Come on, we're almost home. Can't you make it? I'm going, no, I just need to close my eyes for a minute. And you try to keep your eyes open, and it doesn't work when you're sleepy. And I tried everything, even mustard. And that's one of my jokes. I was falling asleep. The kids are all asleep one time driving from Happy Camp. And Happy Camp is not a campground. It's a town called Happy Camp. And my brother lived there. And I'm driving the kids home, and there's nothing to eat, nothing. All I could find was a mustard packet. And I didn't want to wake the kids. So I found out if you take a bite of mustard, it wakes you up. And you get perked up. And so that's our trick now, all my kids. Just keep a mustard packet in the car, and then eat mustard, and it'll keep you awake. But this time, I didn't have one. Talking, I still will fall asleep, air blowing on you, cold air, nothing works. I even wanted to try toothpicks to keep my eyes open. You could sleep with your eyes open. I found that out. You got to pull over. So anyway, coming home from church, I had to pull over and rest my eyes a little and take a little nap. And then we got home. But my kids would they still laugh about it. Now they go, how do you drive? It doesn't matter what time of day or night. I got to drink one of those 5-hour drinks. But if it's on the way home at night and I drink one, then I don't sleep all night. Because, I just try to stay away from caffeine. Here's my double chin here is giving me fits. How ugly. I should have the camera up here looking down. All right, but here's the problem. If I drink the energy drinks at night, I'm awake all night. Wide awake, not sleeping. All right, a while back, and I heard this one lady, she's getting migraines and headaches all the time. And I bet it's caffeine, because I used to drink Pepsi, Diet Pepsi, all day. When it's gone, get another one. When it's gone, big gulp. They were cheap back then. At Maverick, you could take your old cup in and refill it for 26 cents. So I'd go to Maverick 2 times a day to get my drink. It was a horrible habit, and I got sick of it, so I said, I'm going off of this. And so then I made them at home, but finally, I just always had headaches, and it was a caffeine headache. I needed caffeine to get rid of my headache. Well, I was a slave to that Pepsi, and I didn't even really like the flavor. I'd much rather have a strawberry crush or an orange pop or a Diet 7-Up. But a lot of times in those fountain drinks, they don't have Diet 7-Up. Anyway, I decided I'm going off caffeine because it's giving me headaches all the time, and I have to have it or I have a headache. And so I did. You have a headache for a few days, but you finally get off caffeine. Sure enough, and I used to take Excedrin every day, have to have Excedrin because of that caffeine headache. Now, I never have a headache, ever. I might get a sinus headache. I don't remember when, but that headache here when you get a sinus headache. But I never have a headache anymore because I'm off caffeine. And once in a while in a restaurant, I might order a Diet Pepsi, but I don't have one again for ever. But I wonder if in those shot things, I gotta look to see if they have caffeine in them. I'm sure they probably do. But now I don't take Excedrin. Last time I took an Excedrin, I just was like this. And I hated it. And so I take ibuprofen because it's for inflammation, which is usually why I'm taking it, because my bursitis or arthritis hurt, so I would take an ibuprofen. But I don't take Excedrin either. They have too much caffeine for me. And I feel better and I'm healthier without caffeine in my system. That's my testimonial for caffeine. I don't have headaches anymore. And it's hard to get off of it for a few days. But once you're off of it, you're healthier and happier, I think. So, I don't know. Has anyone else had that problem? Do you think caffeine gives you headaches? You can comment below if you think it does. I think it does. And Trevor has told me the same thing. But he always then he goes back on it. Oh, that truck driver flashed me. You know what that used to mean? There was a cop up here. I'm going to slow down to 70. 65. No, it's 70. Why am I not using speed control? What's it called? Cruise control. I have that feature. Could be going with my cruise control. There. I always forget. Jamie, our last car did not have cruise control, and he just had a fit about it. I hate not having it. I guess I don't really miss it. But like the RV does, it's broken. I could at least go 70 though. I could speed up a little. I can go at 70. Because I want to get there. Okay, so now I'm going to say goodbye and tell you all thanks for watching. And I love you guys. Thanks for all the Christmas cards. I've never gotten so many Christmas cards in my whole life. And birthday cards. It makes me feel so special to get so many Christmas cards. Wow. Wow, wow, wow.